Hey everybody, it's Nerdicane. I'm doing a comic book review. This came out last week, and yes, I'm a little late on it. This is Sea of Thieves. It's from Titan Press. Right off the bat, say what you want about Sea of Thieves. It's a working game. It's very beautiful. There's just not a whole lot of content right now, and it's causing players to be a little crazy and start griefing each other. And the game needs content. Once it has content, it's good. But this is comic book kind of going along with it, and I'm a sucker for that. And plus, I kind of like the look of it, so I went with it. Right off the bat, this cover has more story to it than the actual game that this is about. If you played Sea of Thieves, there's no story, there's no narrative, there's no anything. It's a free-form play game, which is very fun if you have a good crew. But I've been finding really bad crews lately. But anyway, I'll get to the story. I like these characters. There's a little bit in the front where she corrects him and says, marks woman. But so I read that in the first couple panels, and I thought, oh great, it's gonna be like this, girl power and all this stuff. But that was the end of that sort of thing. And then from there, it just went. Each of these characters has kind of like their strong points, their weak points. These two characters remind me of myself and my good friend Phoenix. And really, I love pirate lore, and I really like this stuff. But this whole situation sort of reminds me of Dragon Con. If you've ever been to Dragon Con, it's a big fan-run convention here in Atlanta. And I'll get to that later, but this whole sequence just reminds me of the first night of Dragon Con, which is usually like Thursday. But anyway, they get in there, and he's very good with people, a little cocky, really has an outline of a plan, but the plan is very fluid. That's his flaw. He doesn't really have a plan, he's not really that motivated, but he's good with people. And he's pretty charming. She is very different. This is very much like Ashley. Shit, I gotta edit that out. Do the edit. I can't say Ashley. She is very much like Phoenix. She gets very frustrated with the way he operates, and she's very structured, and just different. But the two of them work together, and it's actually very fun. And we have a really good time at Dragon Con every year that she comes. So this is the part that kind of this goes through, and you're introduced to the characters very well. It doesn't seem like, it seems like they just kind of flow together, not piece by piece. So many writers will take the first two characters, and then there's a distinct point where, okay, this character is added, this character is added. This all flows together in these little tiny stories inside of this, and all the characters kind of like, all the threads kind of come together, and at the end of this, you have something woven together and a cast of characters on a story. So this is actually really well put together, and I really like I kind of like the art style. There's nothing really over the top about it, nothing that really jumps out. But you kind of meet the characters. They all have in this you see that they have flaws and they have their strengths, and like, she's really pretty, but she's a thief and she's a cheat. She's a good pirate, but she's got a big mouth. You see this stuff, how they kind of come together. And up here she's the twin sister of this guy, and she's more of a pirate. She's more motivated. She has a plan. She wants the map. She wants the treasure. So I'll skip a couple pages. Basically, the crews are in there together. All heck breaks loose, and there's a fight. And just like a night at Dragon Con, the first night of Dragon Con, you usually go in to a bar with a group of friends, with your crew. Some stuff happens, drinks are had, craziness ensues, and then you wind up leaving the bar late for something that you need to get to with almost a completely different crew. So this has a soft spot in my heart, because reading this, I'm like, this is very much like a night at Dragon Con. And it has the costumes too. So they leave, and they find out that he finds out that his sister has the map already and a head start, so they're on their way. And you'd think, like, reading this character, if this were a Marvel character, she would be completely flawless. She'd be a Mary Sue. But you see that she has her flaws, and even she can be taken aback by things. But this is a fun read. This was actually, I had a lot of fun reading this. I like the game. I own the game. I play the game. It's fun. The book, I'm going to keep following this. This was actually for $3.99. It was a pretty good book. It's a pretty fun book. I'll give credit where credit is due. And I don't really, I don't recognize very many of these names. So they're not really, I don't think they're part of the comics mafia. I don't think they've really had mainstream Marvel or DC work. But if you look at this comic, this is a very well-drawn, well-put-together comic. The perspectives are good. It's well-written. The characters are fun. And I think this might be a lot of fun. It's a little different from your mainstream writing, and generally things that are based on games, they don't do well. They're just putting this out to rake in a little bit of cash for the licensing. But I think this is a little more coordinated than that, and I recommend it for a little something different, for something completely different. This is a fun book. I enjoyed reading it. It was entertaining, and I'm going to keep going with it and see where it goes. But that's pretty much it for this. Yeah, I recommend it. It's New Comic Book Day. I'm going to go out there and get some new comics from Oxford today once Baby Boy Nerdicane Jr. wakes up, and have some more reviews for you today. I think I'm going to have like 4 videos today. So I'm busy. I'm on spring break. So I might even have a gameplay video tonight. But thanks for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, hit a share. Tell me what you thought. If you bought this and read this already, or if you're playing the game, tell me if I'm way off base. Tell me what you think of it. The game is a lot of fun, but you need a crew. You need a crew of at least 4 to have a lot of fun and to make a lot of gold in the game. But content aside, and I know content is a big thing in video games, the video game, the water works, the boats work, the weapons work, the jumping works, the physics work. Everything about the game works. It is a well-made game. There's just not a whole lot of content to it yet. But I'm an old schooler. I played Star Wars Galaxies back in the early days of MMOs. And if you've played that, or if you understand Star Wars Galaxies, it was a Star Wars world with almost no story. It was player-driven. The economy was completely player-driven. All the content was player-driven. So players would get into their guilds, and they would have their own adventures and kind of make their own stories. And Star Wars Galaxies was amazing. And I think that, to a smaller extent, that's what Sea of Thieves is supposed to be. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Sea of Thieves. I may do a review on it, or just put together a clip show and talk about it. But thanks for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, have a good day, and if you go out and buy this, use the Move the Needle hashtag, because I've never had one of those, and I'd be pretty stoked if I got one, okay? I'm Nerdicane. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.